All right, so those are going to dry.
Okay.
Will you hand me one of the plate from underneath? Because I have to put paint out.
There's a plate underneath here.
Surprise! Woo!
Ticker tape.
Ticker tape. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is paint these. This is craft number 2. Maybe I'll insert like a big, like,
oh, like a title change.
Title change that says craft number 2. And I'll pick a font that's our brand.
We have a brand, Judson.
We should.
Okay.
It might be the same font that says Boozy Cinnamon Roll. At the,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, so we're gonna.
So it's not just for me.
There is something just for you.
I'm taking this very personally.
Did you like in the last video when I said this is my wife and it was Merida from Brave, and I'm like, this is your husband, and it was Opie?
Yes, I did like that.
That was for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I do really like her husband, Chris Powell. He's my friend. He probably didn't watch it, so he probably has no
I don't
idea.
believe he has. No.
So, I mean, I could be talking nonsense on him, but
Oh, let's talk trash on Chris Powell.
he's an elected official.
He is an elected official. Not only that, brag, brag, brag. Are you ready? He is now the state chair of the Libertarian Party.
Really?
Again.
Good for him.
He was like 20 years ago. And he said he was going to do it. I was like, oh, again. He's like, it was 20 years ago. I was
Like, does it feel, oh shoot, what's that word? Reductive is what's coming to my mind, but that's not the
like
right
a
word.
comeback or a...
No, it's the word that Madonna used to describe Lady Gaga when what she meant was, I feel like Lady Gaga's doing what I did 20 years ago.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of it either.
Yeah, it'll come to me.
But...
So yeah, does it feel like he's just repeating his greatest hits?
The thing is that it's really different now.
Because there's more than 6 libertarians in Oklahoma?
Well, there were always more than 6. But yes, the party has grown a great
Okay.
deal. And the people involved in the leadership now are the age we were when we first did it, you know. And now they're the young, clever people who also know about technology.
Okay.
You know, I don't know anything about technology, but they do. And so they have like all these ways of doing that.
I wanted to ask you if you feel like, and I'm sure you know what is coming, the fame and attention that the Libertarian Party received because of the Tiger King Joe Exotic documentary. In which Christopher Powell was featured.
Mm-hmm.
Like you saw his name and picture on the TV in the background.
Yeah, it was for about 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And he was wearing a shirt, and he has all his teeth.
As opposed to, because Joe Exotic was not wearing a shirt and didn't have his teeth.
And, well, a lot of the people were not wearing their shirt. There was that guy that bought the zoo, I can't think of his name, who basically tricked Joe out of it. He was walking around doing interviews without a shirt. I don't know why.
I'm reminded of a story. So we're gonna, look, this is white paint. White paint. We're gonna mix the white paint with the orange paint and the green paint. Like not the orange and the green, but the white with the, because the orange and green colors that I have are really bold and bright. And we want to go with something a little bit more toned down. Sort of like a, we don't want to think pumpkin while we're making these carrots. We want to feel like
something that a Easter bunny's just going to really say thank you for.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the orange.
So to answer your question, yes, my life has been completely different since the fame of the Tiger King. I can barely go anywhere.
Just people recognizing you everywhere, like, oh my gosh, it's...
You know what's funny is that Hilda can remember meeting him. Because during that gubernatorial race,
yes,
you know, he and Chris were in the primary together. And then, so there was like this chili cook-off thing that they went to. Both of them were there. And Hilda can remember meeting him because he was so incredibly bizarre. Kid can't remember that I took her to Frontier City 25 times.
Right.
She's like, I've never been there. I was like, I took you every year for 8 years.
I went with her.
Yes. I went every year for 8 years. But, yeah, so she couldn't remember that, but she can remember meeting Joe Exotic once. That's how memorable he is.
We're going to mix the white and the orange. The boys went with my mother and father-in-law to a Democratic kickoff, like campaign kickoff spaghetti party or something. And I have that really cute picture of them. They were here for the summer while we were living in Colorado, and they, had their clean jeans on, and they had little button-up shirts, and Paul had his fedora, and Matthew had his glasses, and it was just really cute. It's a really cute picture. And they remember meeting I can't even remember what their names are, but the two people who were hosting the thing, and have, I think, run into them again, and so yeah, it's a thing. Well, it's not cool that Hilda remembers meeting Joe Exotic, but it's in the context of when Chris was campaigning for the governor's race, when her dad was running for governor, that she had that part is cool.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll remember it forever. I was thinking about Hilda today, as I often do. Okay, so you can have this paintbrush, and I'll use this big one, and has a little bit of glue in it, but that won't hurt anything. Okay. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna paint the clothespin, but not the head of the clothespin.
Okay.
Just the body of the clothespin. And I was thinking that I wish that Hilda was still young enough that, she needed to come spend the summers at my house, because
she's so grown up.
That was an absolute unique experience and then I was like, you know what, I should put an ad, for other, Uncle Judson's school for wayward teenage girls. And then I thought, no, that is one quick and easy way to be investigated by police and arrested for.
Can you imagine?
How do you put it out there in the world that I had a 14-year-old girl who absolutely loathed coming over to my house and having to spend time with me every day during the pandemic, and it was so much fun for me.
Yes. Well, she just couldn't be at home all the day.
No, I get it. I mean, if my boys had been of a similar age, I'd have been like, you guys are going to grandma's, and she's going to give you activities.
And daycare only goes up to 12.
Yeah. No, but I mean, just I would come up with things that I thought would interest her or that she would enjoy, and nothing was ever good enough. It was she may have been, young, but she definitely had that whole teenage.
I'm telling you what,
I hate you and everything about you.
She's been a cranky teenager since 5th grade. I hope someday she grows out of this.
No, I absolutely adore your daughter. I really do. But
I do too.
I was I'm like, we had pictures of the one day we went to Krispy Kreme when they were having the key lime donuts, and she's like, we waited in our car. It was the middle of the pandemic. You couldn't go in. And yes, there was a whole line because it was key lime donuts. And she's like, they weren't even good.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, no, she wasn't wrong. They weren't good. But I'm like, this is, it's the experience. We were here. We did this.
Yeah. I offered to take her on a cruise to Mexico.
She said no.
She was like, not with you. She's always talking about going to Mexico, finding her roots. But not with me.
So, to be fair, I don't know, I'm dabbing the darker orange on this. I don't know, maybe it's an effect. Maybe it's a thing. I don't know if it's a thing. We'll see. It might look cool when we're done.
All right.
It might give it texture, or it might not. Who knows? But yeah. So you know my friend Stacey. She is grandmother with a ukulele, cranky grandmother with a ukulele, something. She's a granny with a ukulele on the YouTube.
Oh.
She has a YouTube channel where she plays her ukulele.
Okay.
I don't know that she's still updating, but at one point that was her passion project during the pandemic. But she took her her granddaughter, who she mostly has had raised up until that point, on a cruise. And so she's been going places and doing things with her granddaughter the entirety of her life. You know, like going off and doing something fun. And they went to Fort Worth to visit Jody, and like went to these places that are supposed to be haunted places, and you know, to try to investigate if there were ghosts there, and you know, super into it. And
they went down there one time and looked around the stockyard.
Buckies.
The what?
The Buckies.
Yes, the Buckies. Of course there was a Buckies involved. But we went down to their stockyards, and they had this really cool, like, maze set up. Like, you could walk through it. And I don't know, the kids had a good time.
Yeah. But so the problem, I think, was that at the age that the granddaughter was when they went on the cruise, all of that stuff had kicked in. And she hated every, or maybe she didn't, but as far as her communication with her grandmother was like, this is the worst trip I've ever been on, and I just hate it here, and I wish we hadn't gone. And so,
how dare you do this to me?
Yes, how dare you do this to me? Someone else was trying to think. Someone else was.
Am I doing
Was
another one?
Yeah, was that same point of view, was like, I can't believe you're doing this to me, and like what it was like totally not a terrible thing. I was like, please, can I find someone to do that to me? Yeah, but now it's lost to me. It'll come back to me in
How
a video.
dare you try to show me a good time? How dare you try to take me shopping? Or whatever it is she's mad about.
Isn't there like a song like "Don't Threaten Me with a Good Time"?
Yeah.
Is it a country song?
Probably. I don't know. I've just heard people say that.
I've been threatened with a lot worse. I have work stories I could tell you, but I feel like the new kinder me
Yes.
is just the rebranded me that is newer and kinder doesn't really feel the need to talk shit about someone on the internet, which is also from a song.
Okay. Well, I admire you, the new improved you.
I mean, I might tell you later, but
Yeah, absolutely. Tell me later. I would expect nothing less.
but it's you know, that thing where I had a career, made a career for myself, dealing with cranky customers, and standing up for the company POV,
Yeah.
and addressing the customer's crankiness in a way that was professional and slightly snarky. And I am in a position now to also have to deal with a cranky customer, only I'm trying to do it a different way. And
Oh, growing up was so hard to do.
it's not as much fun. Yeah, it's not as much fun. We'll go with that.
One time when I was like in 10th grade, speaking of changing how you talk to people, the band director was mad at us. I was on the flag corps in band, and we didn't get back from our special performance as quickly as she would have liked because we had to change her clothes after the halftime show.
You didn't just want to ride home in your...
Well, it was a Halloween thing and we had to dress up. It doesn't matter. The point of the story is we didn't return fast enough and I had stopped on the way and saw some friends down at the end of the field and we had until, a certain time to be back, so I didn't see any big deal.
Actually, you know what? We should... I don't know if you could talk while I do this,
Yeah.
but
It
we're
didn't-
going to use the heat gun.
Okay. It didn't seem like a big deal. I just stopped and said hi. And then I came back around. And then after the game, she pulls us all. There's like 4 of us. It was a little school. And she's giving it to us, You were supposed to be back at this time, and you weren't. And we're all like...
Totally am going to play a super loud noise over this part of the video.
Over everything I have to say. Amen.
Go ahead.
Yeah. She's going on and on and on about it. How we were disrespectful of her time. And we were all in agreement. Like, you said to be back at this specific time. And I said that. I said, we are all agreeing that you said this time. That's the time we were back. And she said, well, you didn't even be down there talking to those kids anyway. And I said, the company I keep is not the issue here. Yeah, I got in trouble for that.
Did you? It's doing like a weird bubbly
See,
thing.
I wouldn't say that now. 10th grade Amy said that.
If I had $1, just $1, for every time middle school or high school Matthew said something that an adult objected to, man, I would retire. And I am not, I don't want to give the impression that I am defaming my son, because oftentimes he was not wrong.
Yes.
And the times that he was wrong, what he said was hilariously funny.
Well, that's the thing,
Like,
is that I wasn't wrong,
and it was funny.
but it wasn't the right time. The other 3 girls kind of backed up, like, oh, you're on your own now.
When Kathleen went in and threw the big fit with the middle school principal about the teacher that had shoved Matthew and shoved Renzo, and making her demands, and she demanded that Renzo be called down to the principal office too and be part of this. Renzo was like, I really don't want any part of it. I'll just take the punishment. Just whatever it is. But Kathleen was in the right. The teacher had no right to touch either one of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it is such a common occurrence that middle school boys walk into a classroom and jump up and hit the door jamb as they walk through, that there are memes and jokes about it on the internet. Like, it is so like freaking out and shoving the students when they do it hardly seems like an appropriate choice.
Well, what's the problem with it anyway?
It was disrespectful.
Some people just need to get over themselves.
I'm trying. I told you, I have a whole rebrand where I'm nice.
Kids just do stuff like they can't control themselves.
No.
That's like the big red ball, concrete
Let me
balls
see
in
that.
front of the target. Not a kid in the world can resist running up and trying to jump on top of that thing.
When we were in Colorado, I went to pick up Paul from the high school, and Matthew was going to get out and go to the door and get him. And I said, it's snowing, the concrete is icy, do not parkour on your way in or out of the school. Did he listen? Did he parkour? Did he fall and bust his ass? Yes.
Oh.
Yes, he did. And then Paul came out and helped him up, and then they walked back to the car, and Matthew was like very
Subdued, okay.
subdued. He was like, you were right.
You were right. You were not wrong.
I seldom am. I mean, he'll disagree with me, but it doesn't mean I'm wrong. One of my Sunday school kids came in the other day and said, Mr. Judson, you may not know this. Sometimes people are wrong. I said, that is true. I mean, not me, but other people. Other people.
You may not know this.
And he kind of looked at me and I'm like, your dad, for example, he's been wrong a few times that I'm aware of. He just looked at me and the dad was standing right there and was like, what? What?
Just move along.
Nothing to see here, nothing to see here. See, I see these videos and these people are drying their stuff with their hair dryer. And it's just so fast and easy. And I'm like, first of all, I know better than to try and dry my hair with this because it's like super hot.
Yeah.
But then also, it takes a lot longer.
Well, I don't know what to say to you about that. Except
In your vast
hair drying.
crafting experience,
Oh, I was going to say my vast hair drying experience, which is really not even that much. I usually just comb it and let it dry. So I don't have a lot of Hika nor hair drying experience.
for years, starting in high school, I was a hairdryer. And then when it was long in college, I mean, I hair dried it. At one point, I had a flat iron thing that was Kathleen's, and then
I'll bet you did.
And then I hid it in the dorm because it was like the 90s, and it wouldn't have been cool to have the.
You know what's crazy is that, like, you know,
Guys totally use a flat iron now.
the problem is that it wasn't the 90s. The problem is where you lived. Because if you think about, like, all of the androgynous, like, Boy George and David Bowie and all of that going on, like, people were just like Wham. They were okay with it, just not in Oklahoma.
Right. And I do feel like maybe in Santa Fe I could have gotten away with it, but not the people that I ran with. So
True. You'd have been okay with my friends.
After Kathleen and I were married,
Because I was in the punk rock.
after Kathleen and I were married, I don't know, I didn't have the flat iron anymore, and obviously Kathleen has really curly hair. She doesn't use a curling iron or any of that, and I had cut my hair short, and so I was trying to get the front to do something, and she had hot curlers. So I had the hot curlers clipped in front of my hair, and I
I
was,
use hot rollers. Erica always has them.
and someone came to the door. That sort of,
Oh, that's the best.
oh, it's better than that. I mean, so we had been married 1 week, and we were in our new house, getting ready for something that we had to dress up for, obviously, since I had the hot rollers in my hair. And I had been in the bathroom putting the hot rollers in my hair, and I had my underwear on and not much more, and I'm like walking back and forth like through the dining room, back to the bathroom, and I kept hearing this noise, but I didn't recognize the noise because I'd only lived in the house a week.
Well, and who knocks on the door anyway?
Right, someone was knocking on the glass door because the front door was open, but the glass door was shut and locked.
Oh, so they were watching you.
Yeah, they watched me walk by 3 and 4 times, and then I realized someone's knocking on the door. And Kathleen was like, you should maybe put some clothes on. So
I feel like you gave them their money's worth.
So I put some clothes on and went to the front door, and like, I don't know, it could have been worse. It could have been someone I knew, but that it was total strangers was pretty bad. And yeah.
At that point, you just go over, look at them directly in the eye,
and shut the door.
Front door and lock it.
No, it was, they were
in your underwear. Do not bother with any clothing. Just
they were trying to sell magazines, so like the magazine subscription people. And I was like, sorry, you know, blah blah. And she was like, it was a man and a woman, and the woman was like something, and I'm like, no, I'm not interested. You know, we don't need magazines.
I would have like not even broken eye contact while I shut that door right in their face.
And like at the end of the transaction, when it was clear I was a no-go, she was like, and don't worry, we totally did not see you walk back and forth in your underwear like 4 times before you realized we were knocking on the door.
I love that she did that to you when you turned her down.
Like, if I hadn't turned her down, she probably never would have said anything.
That's the me on the other side of the door. Yeah, well, you're not buying?
Oh, okay. Well, don't worry.
Don't worry. I completely did not see you with a hot roller in your underwear.
Well, and then I was standing there the whole thing. And then the guy was like, just, like, do you know that you... Like, what is... I think I just was like, I'm a newlywed, leave me alone. I didn't really... I mean, I had an explanation, and it was a reasonable explanation, but...
You don't have to explain nothing to them. I don't know.
No, the whole thing was weird.
Yeah. Was that in Shawnee?
Yeah.
That's a weird town overall.
2525 North Broadway, at the corner, at the northeast corner of Broadway in Chicago. You can drive by the house, it's still there.
Is there a guy walking around in his underwear?
Last time I checked, no. Last time I checked, no.
I'm just gonna
I make no guarantees.
I'm going to start driving by and seeing if I can catch a show.
All right, now we're going to mix up the green and the white. I hope the green and the white mix up. That green looks kind of...
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Don't worry. I was going to mention, while we're on... Speaking of carrots...
Why, speaking of carrots...
Hablando de... What's carrots in Spanish?
¿Cómo se dice?
¿Cómo se dice carrots, Kathleen?
En español?
She obviously doesn't hear me.
How about...
It'll come to me.
What's all I can think of is manzana. Isn't that an apple?
Yeah. Speaking of carrots, were you aware that although carrots are often portrayed in popular culture and media as carrots are often portrayed as the favorite food of rabbits, the truth of the matter is that rabbits can take them or leave them. I mean, they're a vegetable. Rabbits eat vegetables. They like vegetables. But it's not like their favorite food.
Did you ask them what their favorite food was?
I have asked several. No, you know what? I didn't ask a rabbit, but I have been talking to several 6-year-olds who know a lot about rabbits. And so they have shared this information with me. But actually, no, I read about this on the internet.
Well, and, you know...
Everything on the internet is true.
I was about to say, you know, sometimes, Mr. Judson, people can be wrong.
Sometimes, yes. Not me, though. But the trope of rabbits loving carrots came from Bugs Bunny.
Sure.
And...
I did know that, actually.
And it didn't have to be carrots, it just happened to be carrots, but they're making fun of or referencing Groucho Marx and the big cigar. Like, that was Groucho Marx stick.
I have heard that before. It's been a long time though. Yeah, that makes sense.
So here we have, let me show you how amazing this is.
Oh, the top of it too? Okay.
Yeah, well, I just
well,
figured.
You know, that makes sense. Because
so, see, it's like a soft orangey color. And I don't know if you can see, I don't know why they put their hands like this, but they do this on the videos a lot I've seen.
You're just going to copy it and not know why?
Yeah.
You know what? We need like a special like board to hold up behind it. And then you'll be like super fancy.
I do have a board.
I wouldn't go that far. You have to make one at some point. With the paint all over it.
This is when I did the painting for the Christmas party.
That's
it's
awesome.
Tiffany Blue. Tiffany Blue, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so it's a carrot. I mean, it's a clothespin with a green top. It's supposed to make you think, oh, carrot.
Well, I definitely think carrot. Or orange man with green head.
Skinny pumpkin with a green...
It's a
skinny pumpkin. But yeah, so rabbits, eat a lot of carrots now, thanks to Groucho Marx.
They also...
And Mel Blanc. And
they also really get up in your garden.
They do. That part is true.
It's a thing.
Poor Farmer McGregor. Mr. McGregor?
Yes.
Farmer McGregor.
Mr. McGregor.
that Peter Rabbit tearing up Mr. McGregor's garden.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was on Peter Rabbit's side, but once we had a garden, I don't know, Mr. McGregor, I see your point, sir.
Is Chris gonna have a garden this summer?
I don't know. Maybe not, because he's got so much going on with politics.
Isn't that just the way of the world? The libertarians are taking away all of those cucumbers that Chris could be producing for his friends and family.
Oh, I mean, he does have a fruit tree now.
Really?
It's a peach tree.
I love peaches.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years, so he's hoping this year it'll bear fruit.
Did he plant it himself? Look at that.
Yeah, it takes a couple of years before it'll have fruit.
The house that we used to live on 16th Street, okay, this is sort of dry, had that giant pecan tree in the backyard, and the first year we were in there was like a banner year for pecans.
That was the biggest year for pecans I have ever seen in my life. Grandpa had that pecan tree, and actually I think he had two, and we just had like baskets, bushels, boxes, whatever. We took them down to that place on I-35 where they crack them for you, and we just had so many, and they were all good.
Yeah. Every time Kathleen would go in the backyard with Paul or Matthew, they would fill up one of those 5-gallon laundry buckets.
Yeah.
Like you get the giant Oxy laundry from Sam's Club. Like fill one up with like perfect pecans.
Yeah.
Like the shells were perfect.
Yeah, not a single bad one.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was.
They'd wash them. Kathleen was selling them at work.
Yeah.
I mean, she had people coming by. It was just like
it
the
was
craziest
something about
thing.
like the weather was just that was the year. Like
Yeah.
well,
and they only
created the perfect crop.
It's like once every 7 years is like that.
Yeah.
So when we moved back, you know, when we no longer own that house, but Matthew was like, I mean, I could go knock on the door, and if no one answers, like I feel like.
That's free game. Hey, it's on the ground, people.
Right. I mean, you know. But that year, because of all the pecans, when we had the really bad ice storm, the tree, and because the tree hadn't been kept up prior to us purchasing the house, it split and it cracked and branches fell on. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That was a nightmare.
So this is what it looks like, and if you want to jazz it up, you can take a little piece of twine, and check this out. I have the green and white twine.
Okay.
But you can take a little piece.
Is it gonna be a bow?
Well, you could tie a little bow, but I was thinking like just wrap it around a few times, and then
Yeah, I can't do that.
just tie it.
That's a little too fine motory for me.
I'm gonna say it doesn't fit your Easter aesthetic that you
Yes.
are not a fan of. I mean, you could make a little tassel, you know, but I'm thinking I'm not gonna do that. But like here, tie it, you know. And if you were like super fancy, you could like glue a little button on it or something. No, I'm not that fancy.
Or glitter.
Glitter. I'm not. I say I'm not a glitter person when I clean the table off today. I'm like, why is there glitter down in the grooves? Why is there paint on our table?
Oh, I think that was from the Christmas one.
Yeah, I know why there's paint on the table. All right, so I want to like put together this little box, you know, so that you can see what it would look like, and then we'll put it on our tiered tray. So look, I have a little. It's like a little crate that I got at the dollar store because you know. Dollar store, and you know we're price conscious. And I'm gonna put one of the paper mache eggs in the little box, and then maybe a couple of these carrots. That's not exactly dry yet, so my fingers are a little wet.
Yeah, we're gonna have to rethink the layout here.
And then add the.
I don't know. Maybe you had it better.
So I trust you in all of your years of being a homemaker and a home decorator and
yes,
party planner.
Oh yeah, absolutely. My party plan was I just show up with the kids.
if you ever need a child, well, it's no longer the case.
Not now, but
back
for
in
a
the
while,
day,
yeah.
if you were throwing a kid's birthday party and you were like, who can I invite to make sure that I have a full house of kids? Look, you just call up Amy Powell because she'll roll up with a clown car of kids.
That's
Like
true.
the doors open and the kids just keep spilling out. We would have birthday parties and invite no one but Amy. Just call Amy and be like, it's Paul's birthday. This is where we're going to be.
We need some guests.
And she's like, I'm on it. And just like all of these kids.
Yeah. Sometimes, you know, sometimes I'd have some extras. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, no complaints.
Yeah.
A
A little bit of foster, a little bit of adopted, a little bit of friends.
Okay, so like here's our little, and I'll like probably take a picture and slide the picture.
Okay.
Fancy little thing. And you could put it on your tier tray like that, and then maybe, you know, add some eggs on the side. Like I should pull this out where they can
Eggs
see.
on the side.
Eggs on the side. I'll have the breakfast special, but can I get my eggs on the side? And you know, there's room for bunnies when Easter rolls around.
Yeah.
So those are our two carrot crafts. And does that say an hour? Have we really been?
Yeah, it's an hour and 10 minutes.
I hope that I do a better job of an hour and 10 minutes is. If you have watched this whole thing, like put a little carrot emoji or a thumbs up emoji or say, I have watched this whole thing. I maybe do financial compensation in the comments.
Oh dear.
I was going to tell you that my sister did vote that if I do any more of these, I should definitely have you with them.
Oh, that's so
I thought
nice.
so too. And then I'm
I
like,
vote for you too.
another person who clearly chooses Amy over me.
Well, of course, because it's your sister. we hurt the ones we love
We
the
always
most.
hurt the ones we love the most. All right, so, but for real, you can like this video, share this video, comment below, like, comment, subscribe. By all means, there's a red subscribe button somewhere. Click on that, and then there's something with the notification, like if you click on a bell, an angel gets its wings.
Oh, does it tell them when it's got a new one or
Yes,
something?
if you click on the bell and when I post a new one, you will get a special alert on your YouTube.
Bye!
Bye!